Good morning, everyone. Time to make the donuts. How's everybody doing? Hey, Kev, how are you? Man, I felt I blinked in that long weekend, just kind of went by at lightning speed. Crazy. It's like blinked and it was gone. Let's see here. Uh, well, folks, we have a lot to talk about. That's for sure. We have lots to talk about. Oil and metals are dumping. We got overhang, right? Market's got a little bit of. We put on a few pounds, you know, over the Christmas holidays. Ate a little bit too much like John Madden. Too much turducken. Hello, Juan. Hey, what's going on? So let's go take a look and see what we're looking at as we come in off of the holiday. We've just been going back and forth between 68.07 and this 69.88, and we kind of break out, come back in, break below, come back in. So it's a huge rotation going on here. This is where we get out of that rotation and come back in. And those are nice trades, but I'm starting to wonder because we have material change being talked about, right? It's like those of you who live in Hawaii know the Kona winds, right? Well, in the markets we have the winds of material change, right? So normally I just kind of blow off all these liquidations and I'm like, okay, let's trap the shorts, buy all the inventory, run it back up again, right? You know, that same old thing. That gag's, like they said in the Hudsucker proxy, that gag's so old it's got whiskers on it. Okay? Now, I think we got to start looking at some of these CRM, CRWD, DocU, SchmockU, all these software as a services. Start keeping an eye on that stuff because they say AI is going to destroy that and take out valuations. Now that, my friends, is a material change. That's like if Apple, right? Now I'm not one of the part of the 0 and 1 mafia like Mike. So we're going to we need our code writers, we need our 0 and 1 mafia guys to help us tell us what's real and what's not and how much should we really be worried, right? There are sellers. There are sellers out there. So those of you, what does this mean? Okay, I've gone on this sort of little diatribe now for 6 minutes. But what it means is when there's material change, you, me, right, and the other guy and the other girl, we have to be a little bit more careful, okay? Yeah, we didn't just fall off the turnip truck. So when there's material change afoot, as Sherlock Holmes says, watch your bids, right? Because most of the time it's watch your shorts, right? There is supply now. So 68.07 and 3/4. What was our low tonight? 5 3/4. My levels are a couple of points off over the contract changes. So, there's a little bit of, as we used to say in the old days, slippage, right? So let's see if that holds today. And I don't know if I'm short biased because I've been reading too much news with all these guys talking about the AI coming, you know, all of that stuff. I could be getting influenced by it. So I am going to watch a little bit. I've traded a little bit, but not great. Right? I still got weekend brain. I need to be sharp, right, before I risk any kind of serious money. I got to get it. I haven't traded now for 3 whole days, which means, you know, as the guy would say in Remo Williams, I move like pregnant yak. So I need to get my reflexes up. We have overhead supply. We're just going to get to that, Raj. Right? Let's go take a look at the market profile and see what they got in the tickle trunk here. So here we have Friday, which is the last full day. Right? There is Sunday night. There's that little weirdo Monday session. And then here's tonight. All of this is overnight. If we take that and slam that all together, in fact, let's do that. Boom. You'll see that we're just smack dab in the middle of this lower range underneath the close. So our overnight inventory for the day, for this actually, this session, right, is short because the cost basis, 70% of the inventory is priced underneath the close. So inventory short, we're looking for this, but we know that there's paper trapped up here. Paper means supply, right? That's an old stock promoters thing, paper stock certificates. So we know, or as they say in Long Island, paper, right? There's paper above Joey, right? Port Jeff, right? So that's why we have supply. Those single prints that Raj was saying, they're right there. Let's see what happens. We got a B profile. We've got overnight inventory a little short. Let's see what the chart says, right? All weekend, the talking heads, scarf guy, this guy, Panama hat guy, they're all saying, you know, software as a service is cooked, right? Let's see what happens. Let's see what the order flow tells us, right? When in doubt, knock them out. No. Sorry. That's an old bouncer saying, when in doubt, knock them out. But no, when in doubt, right? Right? Trust the chart, okay? When in doubt, trust the chart. Well, knock them out if you're long, right? You know, knock them out. When in doubt, knock them out. I guess that works in trading too, right? Hit out all the bids. So here we go. We're going to open down here. I think it's going to be choppy, right? There have been sellers all night at 44, 46. Anytime we get close, right? Every time price comes, it's like price is creeping through the tall grass with a knife in its teeth. And every time we get there, boom, the sellers step in, right? So it's trading like there are sellers, right? Long Island one. It's what my old Long Island partners they would always call stock paper, right? Because in the old days they would give out paper certificates when you did a deal. This entitles the bearer of 200,000 shares of this stock, that kind of thing, right? Now everything's electronic. What's the paper doing? What's the order flow, right? Yeah. There are some bids down here at the overnight low. Even though inventory is short, I'm expecting 68.20 Friday's low and the overnight low. I expect them to be tested. Now I'll tell you why. The reason is I'm looking for 67.88 on the downside. And the reason is this market has been fairly rotational, right? So we looked above 70.30, failed, came down, looked underneath 67.88, failed, turned and ripped, right? Turn and burn. But the sellers there was just not enough octane in the tank to take us up to 30. So we rotated all the way back down. The target is 67.88. Now we're close. Here we just went right underneath. But if I go and put in the overnight, excuse me, I'm a little long-winded here, but there's a lot to consider. We did a look below and fail, right? We went underneath. The next night we went underneath and then kaboom, straight up. Let's see what happens. We know there are bids under here, right? We know there are bids under here. Let's see if those bids see sellers, we are going to have some liquidation. If not, we'll see, because the last time we flushed this, there was a lot more inventory up here. Look at all of this inventory. All of this got flushed in a 2-day sequence, right? But that's as long as the premise for the market holds true. Now let's see if these AI folks and those who are not wanting to buy AI stocks, well, whatever, I mean the software guys and gals, let's see what they do, right? I have no idea, right? All I can do is watch 67.88 like a hawk. If this thing opens and we catch a bid and take out the close and get above the close and start doing this, then it's a fail to look below, and you'll want to be long to 69.03. That's your first destination. Okay? But let it open, maybe scalp a little bit. Those traders who are, those traders who like to put bigger size positions together, if you have a belief, you can take your long, right? Or if you're short, take your short, and then scalp back and forth in your other accounts because you're trading prime probably, right? Or if you're not trading prime, you have at least 3 or 4 accounts at different firms. So you can take a core position long or short and then scalp around that position to get a feel of the order flow after the 3-day holiday, right? You always want to see what the pool is like before we go jumping in head first, right? Just keep your size down, right? Until, as Dollar Bill says, I am not uncertain, right? Until you are not uncertain, keep your size down, right? And your convictions should come from your fills. Your conviction should come from your order flow, not from what your brain thinks should happen or your ego thinks should happen, right? Your intuition has to come from your orders. If you're short and you got a couple of buy orders underneath and they're not getting filled, brother, that means there's no supply at that level. Nobody needs to sell down there, right? If you have a long and you got sell orders out there and nobody's nibbling at your offers, there's a problem, right? Short term, right? So always keep your head on a swivel on the first day back. Don't stress yourself out. Poke around in there for retail, smaller traders, right? Use your micro. That's why they invented the micro. So you can use it to test trade so you don't have to commit all of your capital, and then when you're wrong, it hurts, right? After a long weekend, always start with small size, right? There's no, in trade, a hero ain't nothing but a sandwich, right? There are no heroes in trading, right? The hero is the one in 40 years who still has their money. What is the reason for the trade, Mike? That sounds really good. But instead of doing all that, why don't you just figure out what the reason for the trade is and then just take the trade? Put in your stop. Trade at the edge. Oh, you're probing for information? How much size are you trading? We should talk later because you might be, I don't know. Oh, one? Don't even bother. Yeah, don't even bother. You know what that is? That's like putting a Ferrari engine on a lawnmower. Know what I mean? Nothing good's going to happen out of that. Trade 3 micros, right? You go long at say 68.31, right? Put one out at 2.25 and see if anybody takes it, right? If nobody takes it, it means that nobody wants it at that price, and you got to lower your price, right? Simplify it, brother, right? And if they do take it, put the other one out, 6 ticks higher, 8 ticks higher. Let them take you, right? Oh, very simple. Well, that's a good question. If they don't take my offer, what is your time frame? You're scalping, right? Last week you did 300 trades in one day. Yeah. God, that must be expensive. Sorry, folks. Mike is an ex-institutional guy. Very, very smart. He's one of our math boffins, as they say in the UK. But I'm trying to make business sense of what he's doing, and I can't because it seems expensive. I can understand scalping around a position, but scalping for scalping's sake, I guess you're just tossing a quarter all the time, right? And I'm not a math guy, so I can't figure out the outcome of that. 50-50, I guess. Anywho, you're having fun. And obviously somebody else is paying your commissions. There's OPM and OPC, other people's commissions. Oh, that's going to get expensive when you get in the real world. Got it. I understand now. Okay. All right. I'm sorry, folks. Trades off the open. Trades off the open. We're kind of teeter-tottering on VWAP right now. Got a little bit of 2 hours of inventory underneath us. You can see that on the candle. A little bit of distribution. They are sellers at 68.36. What's going to happen when we open this puppy up? I'm seeing bids right now. I'm seeing the offers lifting. Right? I'm seeing offers lifting. When I see offers lifting, you see the bid, how it follows? Bing, 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 bing. Right? The candles are following. The bid is following the offer like an obedient dog. Right? So you mark off where the sellers are on this old 1 minute. So if you are long, you know where there's going to be competition from other sellers. Do I trust what? Me or does Mike? Oh. Yeah. I'll let you guys deal with that. For the normal folks who aren't running code, right, and just want to make a buck and pay their phone bill, we got sellers at 36.25. Let's see if that lifts. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, overnight inventory is short, right? So if overnight inventory is short, we should see a move upside, target being the close of business Friday, right? There are sellers at 36.25. The offer is now lifting over 36.25, but nobody wanted to buy it. Let's see if we can get a C. You can see the offer moving up and down over that white line, right? And nobody took it. So there is an example. If you were offered 36 and a quarter, you did not get a fill. You should lower and hit the bid. Say if you were long 2 and you wanted to sell at 7 or 6.5, right? Lowered expectations, right? Because there are sellers competing right where I told you they would. Right? How is that for order flow software? And guess what? It's free. All you got to do is draw a straight line and concentrate. Right? Where they sold, they will sell again. And they did. Right? So we do have sellers 7 minutes before the open. We know that there are going to be sellers at those levels. So if overnight inventory is short, excuse me, right? It's short because all of the trading is underneath and we're looking for higher, right? We know that that is where the first goalie is, right? That's keeping us from getting there because as soon as we get there, they all sit there and start hitting the bid. Boom, 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 boom. So now let's see if we hold VWAP. We are in a little rotation here. You see? We're going back and forth. This is a little distribution above VWAP. Usually, after a sell-off, in the RTH, what happens is, usually we'd have ripped right through that level. Anybody, you guys you understand what I'm saying? Right? So that's what I was trying to tell you, that it's a little bit different this time than what it usually is. I hope that makes sense. We are right at the overnight cost basis. We are taking this product here and selling it here. That's why when we came down here, you'll notice we stopped selling right at this level. Found a bid. So on a break of VWAP, we're going to be looking for, to the downside, 68.26. Right? Look, seller, 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 seller. That's how you guys get a trend line. Now let them work out VWAP. There should be some short covering. There should be a little bit more short covering. If there isn't, right, usually we get a lot stronger short covering after a move down. What happens if there isn't? Just try to prepare you by the dippers. Okay? If that short bid isn't there, it means the shorts got spooked by size. Which means you put up a bid for 100 contracts at 68.31 and they filled you. Which means, ooh. So if you have to cover 2,000 contracts and you bid for a couple of hundred at 31 and your bids gets filled so fast, makes your head spin, well, you drop your bid, right? Because then you know that there's an aggressive seller, right? When there's an aggressive seller, you drop your bids, right? When they got size, what do you do when there's an aggressive seller and you're a size trader? You drop your bid and you offer underneath them. And you hit some bids yourself. And that'll get that seller and those sellers who are competing, that'll get them all riled up and start lowering their offer, and then you can cover. Do you understand what? That's market making, but don't worry about it. Right? But when you see a seller getting aggressive, what you do is you step in front of them. You step in front of size, and that forces them to sell lower. And then because you're trying to cover cheaper, right? especially when they're competing. They will all stampede for that one exit. Sometimes you got to give them a little push. Let's see where the bid is on the open. How does it help you? Because what you do is you watch this offer. That offer are the sellers. Sorry. The offer is the sellers. Right? If that offer starts moving higher, it means the sellers have seen buyers and are raising price. If that offer starts moving lower like it just did, it means that they started to compete at that level. So if you're short, right? Say if you're short here at 35, using 36 and a quarter as a stop. If you see the market coming back up over this level, you can cut your contracts and reduce your size. Right? If the offers keep moving lower, the top of the candles, if they keep moving lower, you can stay short. That is the practical, actionable aspect of what I was just talking about. See how the offer is moving higher? So you're going to be looking here. So if you were short underneath VWAP, this is not good for you. Do you understand? Because you've lost your seller underneath VWAP. Now look. It came to the top of that candle to the tick. Now, when the next candle opens in 18 seconds, right, and say you're short here and you didn't cover, if it pops the top of that 33 quarter and starts printing half, 3/4, 4, well, your goose is starting to get cooked. Watch. Right? If you are long, you want to be selling into this strength, right? I'm long at 32, selling 34 and a quarter, just on a couple, right? Just to test that order flow, right? But that seller is still there. They let it breathe and then it came back down. If you understand what I'm saying, and this is exactly what's going on inside that candle. It's just being done by machines now instead of human beings. So that means it's being done much faster and way more efficiently. And it doesn't have to go to the bathroom. Right? So sell into strength, my friends. Do not wait for a written invitation to sell your contracts on a day like this. If you were long 30 to 32, I'd be selling them here with both hands. Let them come and take you. Right? There is that little dip. Right? Position is underneath 36. If we hold the open, rotation will be higher. Right? Let them test the open. Oop, not just yet. There we go. Let them lift. Let them lift. Long 38, selling 40, 40, 40, 39. Now, what did I get? I got 39 and a half for 2, not 40. Right to where we are. Look at the next stop up here. We are correcting overnight inventory. Yeah, that's why it's called trading, Emucas. Right? This concept is foreign to you because it's the business. Don't worry about it. If you're with us every day, it'll start to sink in. The offer's always moving up and down. That's why you gotta, if you're trading and you're scalping, you gotta be quick. Right? So first what you gotta do is learn what to look for. Then what you have to do is build an execution plan about what you're looking at. Right? And put in some risk management. Right? And then you practice those trades, long 41 and a quarter, selling 43. Oh, I got out at 44. That was nice. Right? And then you work on your execution. Right? Once you figure out how this all works, and it's not going to be, it's simple, but it's not easy because you're not used to thinking like a predator. You're used to thinking like the prey. Right? Into those single prints, grabbing inventory. Right? This is overnight inventory correcting. So it's not bad, right? So that short bid was here, and then it moved up here, and then here. You see? See how the bid moved up? Boom, boom, boom. That's why I was going long, not shorting. Even though I was short biased, the chart's telling me off of the open sequence anyway that my bias is wrong and I have to trade the other way. Make sense? All of these little subtle things you guys aren't going to get right away, and I didn't get them either. Right? There's all these tiny little details that you kind of got to stitch together. Right? And over time, once you learn what to look at, it's going to become more clear. Right? So the offer right now is moving lower to find buyers. Nobody wants to buy it at 48, 44, so they're putting it on sale. When they find a size buyer like they did at 39.5, they lift the offer. So you have to say, okay, is that a trade where I want to go long? Right? Or do I wait for a look below 39.75 and fail? Right? Boom. So you go long 40, put your stop under 38 or 39, sell into the 42, 44s, but you got to be quick because it's the RTH Open. Remember the movie Stepbrothers? It's the Catalina wine mixer, right? The RTH Open is not to be fooled with. If you don't know what you're doing, trade it on sim so you understand how the software works, right? Though they are grabbing inventory to cover, Herbie. They're not grabbing it to sell higher. It's forced buying. Forced buying is like, who would be forced to buy something? It's the people who are short under 36, right? Every day this happens in this market. This market magically runs out of supply on the open because all of the overnight traders have grabbed all the cheap supply. So what they do is they jack up the price and they hammer the people who come in and need to buy because they're short. Right? Very simple. Right? Just watch the candle chart. It's not rocket science. If you can concentrate, the problem is people can't concentrate for more than 20 or 30 seconds. So start building up your concentration. Watch one chart. Don't put indicators, all that crap on it. Just watch the one chart and watch how the offer is moving up, right? So that's forced buying. Boom. No more single prints, right? Next stop, 68.55 and 3/4. Right? As the market comes back and back tests, there should be bids here because anyone who was short was using that 48.5 as a... See, there's the bid. Boom, boom, boom. See how it comes down, tags that level, and jumps. That means there's a size buyer there, right? And the software is so fast, boom, it sees the buyer. Boom, it runs away, right? So if you were short, that's where you would be covering. That's the practical. Short, stop, cover, right? You cover where you know there's buying. If that holds, watch the next candle, watch that offer move. If it takes that A high, it'll run the stops up to 56-ish, 55 and 3/4. It's the same business over and over and over on every time frame, my friends. Nothing ever changes. It just becomes faster and more efficient. All you have to do is understand why this happens. You don't have to be a market maker. You don't have to understand all that. You just have to understand when sellers see buyers, they raise price, right? The sellers are represented by the red line. The buyers are represented by the green line. So when the green line starts moving up like it is now, it's like, oh, the fresh meat. Boom, there's 56. Right? There you go. Right there. Right where we told you they would be, and they sold into it. Why? Because the size traders who are long under 45 are selling into the 57s. Well, the explanation is simple. The offer is the price that the sellers are setting. So Symphony Trades, you bought 1,000 oranges and you paid 20 cents an orange. And you see a bunch of hungry, thirsty tourists getting off the bus. You jack up the price to 80 cents. But if somebody else opens another orange stand next to you and sells them at 70 cents, you got to price compete. Think of it of a chart of the sales of fruit, right? And that's all it is. You're not thinking like a business. You're probably trying to think of indicators or math, right? Think of it like you're a business person running a business and you're selling a product. And this chart is a sales chart of how your sales are going. Here on a half-hour basis, here on a 1-minute basis. What if the orange harvest fails? Then we better call the Dukes, Hex. And Beaks. Don't forget Beaks. Looking for our next stop up here. Most of the time, if you have trouble comprehending this, it's because you're overcomplicating it. Right? That's all it is. And don't feel bad, everybody does. It's a market. The size sellers will sell before the stops or when the stops get hit, unless they see really big size buying coming in. My VWAP is set at last night. Your VWAP S-Pill might be set on Sunday night. So what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? We're taking the cheap stuff that we had for like 10 hours. We have cheap product. Now we're selling it for a profit. Right? This is 2 times profit, 4 times profit. Right? See, the levels will work nicely. See how we tag that 68.60 quarter? To the tick. Nice. Now we're going to backfill. What does backfill mean? Right? Once you put in a high like this, you go back and you fill in all those orders that followed you up. Right? This is how you distribute. Position is here and under here. You're selling it here for profit. Right? So they will backfill until they find size bids. When they find size bids, their software will lift the offer to make it follow price higher. Do you understand symphony trades? You're selling something and people want to buy it or they don't. If they want to buy it, you raise price. Use the look below and fail. Very simple. Right? The market looks below and fails. Long, stop, sell into strength. Only trade from the edges. That'll keep you out of trouble. Come into our room at tradingsyndicate.org. Oh, and I'm supposed to tell you guys this. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock Eastern Time, we have Amin from Earnings Watcher, earnings-watcher.com. He's a former data scientist who worked for PLTR. Right? The Dark Knight, PLTR. And we are going to have him in our room. He's going to tell us about how to use his software. 11 o'clock in the Trading Syndicate room. Where you can join and learn how to trade with some common sense for only 19 bucks. Cheaper than a couple of Big Macs and much healthier for you. Right? What's going on in the room, guys? You guys awake? Unfortunately, that is me. What's up, Leslie? How you doing? How's the great state of Colorado? Nice to meet you, too. Yeah, so folks who are new joining us on YouTube for the first time, my name is JJ. I'm vwaptrader1 on X. I'm an ex-deal guy. I'm an ex-executing trader for hedge funds, villains, market makers, anybody who wanted to hide their selling. They'd sell through me out of Canada. So I trade for insiders. And I've been the executing trader on at least 200 public companies that we've taken public, my clients, myself, mostly clients. Right? So I'm the seller. Every time you guys are buying, I'm the seller. Right? I wish them nothing but the best. Alrighty, we're going to come back down and test those 52s. Watch those 52s. We will have options content soon. I don't know where Chris is. I hope he is well. I haven't heard from him in a long time. If anybody knows where he is, let me know. Now we're going to find the bid. We got a little bit of a fire sale. Right? Blue light special at Kmart. Attention Kmart shoppers. WD-40 is now on sale, 2 for 1. Come and get them. I would not be looking for a long right now. Hey, what's up, Ed? How you doing? Hey, Arcroy. Good to see you. Ed, how many monitors do you have? You guys, in the room, you guys should start asking some questions because the YouTube folks are just, you know, they're asking lots of questions. What are you guys doing? Are you guys trading? What's going on over there? Only 2? Oh, that's good, Ed. Well, right now, if I'm preparing for my next long, I'm looking for a look below and fail of 39 and 3/4. And if you watch my videos, Emucast, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I've done about 400 videos on YouTube, right? So what I'd be looking for is the market to come underneath this level, for the sell orders to be done and pop back up over it. So I don't try and anticipate longs. I'm not a psychic, right? I'm not the amazing Kreskin. So I got to let the market tell me now. Here we go. We're going to drop in, right? And I'll wait for that next candle in 20 seconds, and it will tell me whether or not the sell orders underneath are finished, right? So no, they're not. We still have sellers, right? We have sellers, and I'll be looking for VWAP. Oh, look at that. The offer's lifting above 39 and 3/4. Next candle opens. Does it hold 39 and 3/4? Because if it does, I can take a long. If it doesn't, I'm not going to. Right? That, no long for me. Right? I'm going to bring it back into this cost basis. I haven't looked at SEC filings in a long time. Because you know what I find? I find the chart tells me, first of all, most of my clients, they don't trade, they don't invest really. Right? So the only time I look at SEC filings if I want to invest in a company. And why invest in a company when you can get free stock in it? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Right? So right now I have no interest in a long until it reclaims 39 3/4. Right? Let them pound it out here and see what happens. Right? So we had distribution, now we put it on sale. Right? The next place I'm interested in a long, if we break and stay underneath VWAP, is 23 1/4. Right now, I got no interest until we take back 39 or we look below and fail 23. Oh, here we go. You got my interest, but there's a seller. There's a seller. The seller is right here. Right? Whoa, is the seller there? Yeah, they are. They were there before. They'll be there again. They're there before. Right? So now, if you're looking for a long, right, I might have missed it. Let's see if this candle backfills at all. And if I'm a buyer, oh, I got to pay up. Right? If you got to pay up, you got to sell into strength. So be quick. Be quick. I'm waiting for that next candle. I'm waiting for that next candle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that next candle, if it doesn't get back up over 39 3/4, I am not interested. It wasn't perfect for me. But hey, Everybody's got their own movie going through their head, right? After the fact, every trade looks perfect, right? But what happens when you're actually getting punched in the mouth? Big candles, right? Big candles, right? So, what did I say? If it starts to lose VWAP like it's doing, look for the bottom of these candles at 30, then down here at 26. If I won't be looking for a long until it gets back up over 39, or if it does a look below and fail of 23. Yeah, so I only read securities filings if one of my friends wants to buy a company and hold it. Um, the type of people I trade for, they don't buy regular stock. They always buy stock at a discount because they finance companies. So, yeah, okay, there's a seller at VWAP now, right? We came right to the cost basis of the overnight. To the tick. Oh, one tick under. Nice work, all right. Nice work. Right? Now remember, if we get back over VWAP, if you got them, sell them. Because they're going to be selling, right? So make sure you sell into strength, my friends. Sell into strength. Do not wait for an invitation. Right? Sell into strength. See, seller right at 39 and 3/4. Right? There was a quick little long. We came right to cost basis. Boom, right off cost basis. All of this trading is all about inventory and order flow, right? For short-term stuff, right? Longer-term stuff will pipe in some macro, right? So remember, it's the first day back after a long weekend. This market's trying to find its legs. 68.30-ish. Yeah, there is a buyer there, right? If those buyers here, right, if they don't see a lot of size coming at them, they'll raise the price they're willing to pay. They'll follow the offer up. Now let's see. It's cleaning out nice. Let's see if we can get over 39 and 3/4. Because if we do, you know where the sellers are going to be. So really what these charts are, they're just a way for us to keep track of where the inventory is priced. So when you take a trade, so if you went long at say 32, you know that there's going to be a seller at 39, 36, right? So you get out. Now this is what I've been waiting for, this move down, right? This is what. No, when they don't see much size, say there's 20 people selling at the same level and one of them lowers price. What are you going to do? You're just going to sit there like a bump on a log? Or are you going to lower the price and get rid of your inventory? Because your inventory costs you money. If you don't get rid of it, you're going to be sitting on stuff you can't sell. You got to think about it like a business. Right? Just think about it like a business, like you're selling a product. And this is a sales chart of that product. That's all it is. That's why the term market. The term market. That's why we call it a market. Now we're back into cost basis. I missed that short. That's okay. C'est la vie. Symphony Trades and Immucast. You guys really should join the room. I highly recommend it if you're not already in. If you're in, reach out and say hi. 68.15, looking for bids. Let's see what happens. I'd like a look below and fail of the previous day low or the overnight low. Those would be nice longs. All right. So remember, tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time, ladies and gentlemen. Steve is bringing in Amin, who's ex-Palantir. Sharp dude. And we'll see what we can learn, because we're always learning. Alrighty. Now we're just back in the cost basis that I did up this morning around 435. Let's see. After a move down and then the corresponding move back up, I want to see where they sell into it. Right now we know that they're selling here. Right? And they're selling here, and they're selling here. Right? As the market comes down, here we go. Let's go tickle that overnight low and see what they got in the tickle trunk under here. Right? There'll be a stop here. Let's see if we can run that stop. And we're dropping in, and we're dropping in. Has to do with inventory. Non-unique. The seller will be there before because it's a good place to do business. It's a thin market, AO. It's a thin market. It's the reality of this electronic market we live in now. Right? It's thin. Wholesalers have to spread the peanut butter over a larger piece of toast. Big ranges, that's the piece of toast. Peanut butter is your net cap. Right? You don't have unlimited net cap. You got to spread it thin. Right? Which means you can't buy as many contracts at every tick. Right? Otherwise you're going to go broke. Right? For us that means the market is thinner, which means a size order can move the market in one candle from 68.19 all the way to 10. It's very hard for large traders to trade size. That's why they have algorithms and execution that splits, like splitting the atom. Right? It splits those orders up and routes them all over the place. Right? When I have to sell size and I'm selling a stock, I'll be selling all over the place. You won't see me coming. I'll be routing orders through Montreal, Switzerland, the Cayman Islands, little Turks and Caicos for good measure. Good old 7 Mile. Right? Let's see if we hold that overnight low. Don't go long if we lose the overnight low. Wait for it. Let it happen. Now here's where we see where the bid is. Are the shorts going to come marching in? Right? Because if the shorts see size, they're not going to cover there. They're going to cover lower. Right? Why would you want to pay more? Right? Right? Remember what I said. There's 68.04 and 3/4 to the tick. Next level lower is 67.95. And then, of course, we have our 67.88, which was our destination if you're a larger size trader. Thanks, Ebery. Yeah, it's just, I think the market's kind of going, you know what? Prove to me that you're worth buying. Let's see what happens in these fancy schmancy stocks this week. Remember, smart money doesn't put all their money to work on a Monday morning. Right? They sit back, they look, they analyze, they run models, they drink their fancy coffees, right? They eat their kale salads. Oh, sorry. Right? They drink their $20 smoothies. Then they make an investment decision. When supply runs out, really simple. You got 5 oranges for sale. You sell them. You ran out of supply. See how simple it is? So when the supply runs out over underneath a level, they raise the price. Yeah, it's going to take a little time to unwind, right? Exactly, Anne-Marie. Exactly. Thank you. Thanks for being with us. Really appreciate it. See? There's that seller. Seller stepped in. After the move down, boom, it moved right back up right to 12 in it. There's that seller, right? We know the seller is there. We're underneath the overnight low now. There's going to be a mixture of short covering and some longs, but let the shorts tell you, right? Let them show you. I'm short 68.03 and I covered at 1. And I covered the rest of them here at, yeah, I'm at 1. I'm flat at 1. Right? Just a couple of points. Right? Now the next level down is 67.95. I feel like I'm calling out bingo. Does that make sense to you, Aminkias? You know, it's just really simple. You know, when supply runs out, price goes up. Have you ever worked in a store? You know, when you're a kid, you work in a convenience store and you sell candy and gum and stuff like that. Am I missing the 2 time zone? Thanks, Kevin. Oh yeah, you're right. Rats. Excuse me. Sorry. That should be red. Thanks, Kev. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. See, Monday morning brain. See, at least somebody was paying attention. Good thing I'm trading micro. So, folks, if you're wondering what the hell is this guy talking about, right? What is he talking about? Well, it is supply and demand because it's a market, right? That's why they call it a futures market, not the futures hot tub, right? It's a long weekend for us, Raj. I know yesterday wasn't for you, but it was for me. Volume profile is good, but it's not necessary, right? It's a cool thing, right? It's cool, right? If you're going long, I would anticipate selling at 6 3/4 and then up at 12, but definitely before that overnight low. If there's no seller there, I'd be very, very, very surprised. It's not a question of better, my friend, right? I use VWAP to get out of the trades. I'm long 68.01 and I'm flat at 3.5. I trade using these levels. Look below and fail. I should have been long a little earlier. I was high. I do take volume. If it trades time and goes sideways, It will trade volume. You know what I mean? Right? If you spend some time down here, you're going to trade some volume. But you don't need it. You just the candles, like, how many things do you want to look at? Right? If I know that there's going to be a seller at 68.12 and a quarter, I don't need volume to tell me that. I wasn't concentrating as much as I should, and I was flapping my gums, so I got long a little high. It's okay. I still made a couple of shekels on the trade, but the thing is, I should have been long 68.01, right? Not too fast. I was too slow. It's okay. You miss some sometimes, As long, as Al Davis would say, just win, baby. It doesn't have to look pretty, right? Make a couple of points here, a couple of points there. Pay your phone bill, right? That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make some money paying the phone bill, pay the mortgage, right? Maui Wowie? Aren't you a cop? What are you talking about Maui Wowie? What do you know about Maui Wowie, Ed? uh, Profile is popular on YouTube. You know what else is popular on YouTube? Those surfboards with one fin that people are riding. What else is popular on YouTube? There could be certain hairstyles that are popular too, Luis. But I like simplicity, right? Everybody wants to try and sell you something. Volume profile analysis, right? See where the large traders are positioned. Improve your odds, right? Do you suffer from a thinning hairline? No, that's another commercial. But come on, guys. Don't be sheep, right? People have been trading without all these fancy tools for hundreds of years, right? How do you think they did it? They watched the offer, right? Don't be a sucker. You don't need all that stuff. I don't have a product. I teach you how to trade. I teach you common sense. Judging by the questions, EmuCast, I don't know if you're not listening to me or something you're not getting. But that's cool. Keep plugging away. Right? There's no product. It's called common sense. You can Google it. It's going to call you exactly. Hey, I don't know. Right? You're zigging, I'm zagging, but that's cool. You do you. I'm not trying to sell you a product. We charge $19. That's almost free. Yeah, don't watch the bid. We'll provide the bid. You watch the offer. When the offer's moving up, don't short it. When the offer is moving down, don't go long. Pretty simple. Right? Most of you guys who trade retail don't even know what the offer is or the bid. Right? So when I start talking about this, see how the offer is moving down? That means sellers are competing and lowering price to get out of their product. Where's their product price? The majority of it is priced at 6. So they'll put it on sale down to 6. Where did they go? 7. Stopped selling and lifted the offer. Right? It's the same thing all the time, ladies and gentlemen. It's the same thing. The process repeats itself. You ever heard of commerce? This is commerce. Right? It's just that you don't see the exchange of goods and services So you think that there's something special going on here. All that's going on is inventory is being bought and sold. Acquired, distributed on all different time frames. That's why they call it a market, right? What's going on in the room? You guys awake? What's going on? They're all over me on YouTube like flies on honey. What are you guys doing in the room? Anybody awake? Testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello. What's going on, guys? Talk to me, Goose. Tiki notes. Hey, Sparky, what's up? Watching speed skating? Oh, man. Too funny. Try to be patient, smart. Don't worry, the trades are going to happen, right? I only trade the ES. I don't trade NASDAQ. I like the ES. We get along well. I don't cheat on my market with others. Now, I'm not saying don't trade other markets. I would prefer if you guys would trade one market well than trading five in a really crappy manner. Right? It's better to just trade one well. I like just trading one market. I make money from it. It looks after me. I know when to mess with it. I know when not to mess with it. The Nasdaq's too thin for me. It's too thin. It's like running on a treadmill. We do have traders in our room who are successful Nasdaq traders. And they do very well. I'm just a little old. I like a nice calm market. What's up, Jeff? How you been, man? Good to have you back. Oh. A little bit of chop now. Let's see if we work out this overnight low. Previous day low situation. No trade for me here. Right in the middle of my zone. I don't diddle in the middle. Yeah, still got those sellers at 13. No trade yet. I do not trade props. I trade Forex clients. There we go. Starting to lose that overnight low again. No problem. If I didn't have clients, I'd use those prop accounts. I think they're a great thing for retail traders because they make you disciplined. You have to follow rules. It's great for new traders. Alrighty. Let's see if we can hold that overnight low. Yeah, exactly, Leslie. So I'm looking for 67.88 and 3/4. right? If we take out the 95s, that is our next level down. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, how can you possibly expect to make money in a business where you don't understand the business? It just makes no sense. You have, you know, the odds are against you, especially if you don't know what you're doing, right? It's horrible. How can you expect to make any money in a business where you don't actually understand how the business works? I mean, a little common sense has to come into play somewhere, right? You know, that's what we do. We teach you the business and we teach you how to build an execution and business model around the business that's happening, right? And then we teach you how to adapt it so when the market changes, you learn how to adapt. So it's not a method, it's actually in the business. When you've been in the business for 34 years like me, you kind of understand how things work. So we only trade when it's beneficial to us. We don't take trades just for the hell of it, right? There's got to be a viable business reason to take a trade, right? If that business reason doesn't exist, why the hell are we putting money at risk? You guys catch what you catch the drift. I hope you catch the drift. If you don't catch the drift, take some time and learn to catch the drift. They're showing cost basis, man. So cost basis, discount times 2 times 4. Real simple. Real simple. Buy something for $1, you sell it for 2. Right? If you can sell it for 4, hey, that's great. If you know they're bought it at 1, long 3 half, selling 5 quarter. Flat. Um, quick scalp. Um, yeah. So this way you keep your head in a market, right? So you're not buying it. If you know they paid $1 for it, are you going to really pay 4 for it, trying to make 5, 6? Or maybe they take it up to 4 and then bring it back down to 3. That's a short, my friend. Right? So you're not buying at the top, you're not selling at the bottom. Right? You're not shorting at 4 times discount where everybody else is buying it with both hands. See? Situational awareness. Right? We teach you how to interpret the chart in an intelligent manner. Right? I put in my buy order, I put in my stop. Right? As soon as my buy order gets executed, I throw my sell orders out. My sell orders tell me where if the trade's going to work. If you're long 2 and you got a sell order out at 4.5 and it's not getting executed, then you got to lower your price. Right? If they're taking you, then you can keep selling higher and higher and higher. Beautiful. Look at this big green short covering candle. Wonderful. Right? It's a business, my friends. Right? I know that's not what you guys think about, but it's a business. Right? You take inventory, you sell it at a higher price. The difference is profit. Very simple. That was a nice move. Let's see where they sell into it again. Sellers here. Let's see if we can stay above this 13-ish level. All right, we're going to backfill, back down. Look for the bid. Look for the bid. Notice how they magically stop selling at 13 quarter, half, and the offer lifts because the position's underneath. So we got some sellers at 16 and change. They stop selling around 13 half. We give it the next candle. If the next candle stays above 15, you're going to rotate up to that 18 quarter. But you're going to have to be quick. No hot pockets, so use the mouse. And if you're wondering how I execute quickly, because I've been trading for 34 years. And in my business, a slow trader is about as useful as a poopy-flavored lollipop. Let's see. Ripping it to 22 and change. Let's see. Do we get there? Do they front run? Right. If you were looking for that long, that confirmation was here at 16, 17. Stop under 15. Sell into the 20s. Right? You know where the sellers are going to be, so get out before they start hammering you. Right? Destination trade is 23 quarter. Right? Holding 23 quarter targets VWAP at 28 and change. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the bid at 15. There's VWAP. Longs just got paid. Shorts got paid before, now longs get paid. What's going on, Truth? How you doing? Hey, Travis. How are you, brother? Good to see you. The thing is, Lewis, the great thing about your friend is it doesn't matter. I have my execution software on the screen, yeah. Alrighty, folks. What's up, room? You guys awake? There's like 3 people on YouTube who are like, boom, 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 question, 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 question. You guys are watching what? Curling? Ice skating? Underwater basket weaving? The chart. Okay. All right. All right, Renee. Bobsled. Okay. My competition is the Olympics. All right. Maybe we'll have a trading, you'll have to trade while riding a horse. How's that, Raj? All right. Little back and forth. Let's see what this thing does here. Oh, I'm glad. If you enjoyed the COD what do the YouTube say? Kids say, like and subscribe, please. Let's see if we build out a B profile and catch all of these goodies down in here. Let's see. I'm still looking for 67.88, but we're a little far away from it now. But hey, the day is young, right? Could still get a little bit of liquidation later on, maybe a late afternoon one. Yeah, it's up and down. Just wait for your trade, chill out, you know, take your time. Don't rush yourself today. Get in the groove. Really well done, fish. Beautiful. Yeah, we'll see, Jam. We'll see. I got to see how the macronutrient crowd, how all this stuff shakes out. I think it's going to take more than one day, right? No institution comes in and goes, okay, we're going to dump our whole portfolio this morning, right? They have their analysts run models, talk to companies, blah, 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 blah. Give it some time. Just trade the chart that's in front of you. I'm not looking for a big short squeeze right now. We have inventory overhead, and the winds of change are afoot. So let's see what happens. Okay? Take your time, my friends. We will see you later tomorrow. I will be back 7:30 in the morning UK time. Same bat channel on YouTube here. 2:30 in the morning for you insomniacs in New York. Thanks, everyone. Have a good morning. Don't take candy from strange market makers. Right? Trade your business plan. Do not get distracted. Thanks, everyone. We will see you tomorrow morning. Come visit us at tradingsyndicate.org if you want to learn how to do this with some common sense. Make some money instead of losing money and blowing up accounts. We'll teach you how to think like a trader and, more importantly, how to execute like a proper business person. Have a wonderful, wonderful morning. Thanks. Appreciate you guys. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.